We're not even, stream is lagging for me for some reason. And I wasn't even recording our intro, so we're not technically redoing our intro. We're just starting the recording now. So, okay. It's still morning, so I have a slight morning voice. We have an amazing Tarot Club to get to. A Tarot Club meeting to get to. We have too many waifus in this series. We got the Messenger, now we got Ketlia, the Hermit. Oh my god, man. Her artwork was gorgeous. And for people watching the live stream, didn't he just say that? I know. But I accidentally didn't record an intro. You gotta pay for all heads to eat. Oh, you know what? We'll do that. I will get, like, when I take her out on a beautiful dinner date, when I take the Messenger out on beautiful dinner date, I will literally buy her 4 cups of coffee. Wait, hold on. That doesn't make sense. Wouldn't it just, like, fall out of her? Like, wouldn't she have to hold her head above her, drink it, and then it comes out? All right, let's keep reading, dude. Hold up. Chapter 566. Ayo, check this out. 566, man. Woo, we've made some I wonder what 666 is going to be. It's probably going to be a chapter, like, involving, like, the Devil family. Watch it be that. The details of clothes. Cloves? Klein's lips curled in a slight nod in response to Miss Justice's pleasant greeting. He was just about to introduce the Hermit to everyone, and everyone to the Hermit, when he noticed that Miss Justice didn't stop. Her gaze shifted to the other side as she greeted, "Good afternoon, Mr. Hangman." Ooh, okay. This time, she didn't follow the order of the tarot cards, but follow the order in which the person joined the tarot club. Ooh, okay, now we're getting a little bit of superiority here. Like, who joined first? Like, who are the OGs and who are the newcomers? After this round greeting, the Hermit will essentially get to know everyone, and there's no need for the Fool to introduce her. Miss Justice is obviously doing it on purpose. She really is considerate. As long as a Beyonder of the Spectator domain gets serious, they act differently for the matter. Like this. Klein was surprised for a moment before he praised her soundly. At the same time, Olga responded to Audrey's greeting while cautiously sizing up the new member. Female, it's barely possible to tell that she's wearing a black gown with many patterns on it. If only he knew who it is. Female, it's barely... Wait, let me read this part. Yeah, what's up, man? Hello. Female, it's barely possible for all the females wearing black... I read this wrong. With many patterns on it. Sorry, it's a little morning, so that's my excuse if I'm a little off. Her hair is black and her eyes are a little purple. Olger managed to find certain traits in her blurred, distorted image. Suddenly, his heart sank as he recalled a scene he saw a few months ago at the pirate convention. That's literally what we read during Volume 2, right? Yeah, that's what it is. Back then, scattered starlight had magically formed a long bridge between the huge sailboat and the palace in the depths of the island. Admiral Star's Ketlia, who was wearing a black classical robe, had walked in midair, carried a celestial globe. Oh, I saw in that fan art, she was holding a globe, like a wand, right? And a short scepter by her waist. And the celestial globe resembled a strange weather bottle that Olger had previously received. That's what summoned him, right? So that's what summoned him, and the celestial globe was what summoned her? Like, that was the connection? Had previously received, the latter had coincidentally shattered after he had been pulled into the gathering by Mr. Full. Could it be her? She looks somewhat similar based on her attire, but the Admiral Stars wears glasses while she doesn't. It cannot be confirmed. It requires further observation and evidence. Oh, yeah, she does wear glasses. Unfortunately, I only saw her from afar and know little. Regardless, I should be careful. When exchanging information, I should try my best to avoid divulging details about my actual situation. The world is still Mr. Fool's blessed. Letting him know of my identity is totally different compared to the others. No, not the other members. Okay, so he can tell the Fool, but not the other members. After the matter regarding the sea god, Mr. Fool had received a considerable amount of strength. He's even able to pull in a powerhouse like a pirate admiral. Thoughts flash through Olger's mind as he slightly fidgeted in the seat. Mr. Hangman's body language tells me that he is alert and guarded. Does he know the female newcomer, or has he guessed something? How intriguing. Audrey's... Damn, everybody's so fucking smart in this series. Everybody's able to piece it together without even speaking. Audrey's gaze swept across without leaving a trace and landed on Derek. At this moment, Ketlia was also carefully and seriously examining the members of the Tarot Club in order they were greeted in. The mysterious purple color in her eyes slowly followed an indescribable fashion. Although she couldn't truly see through the blurry concealment of the fog, she can still make out the details of their clothing. The Hanged Man, a man in his prime in his 30s and has the messy hair like a seaweed with a rare deep... Like a seaweed? Like seaweed with a rare deep blue color. This is a common mutation seen in... Oh, it's a mutation. Really? It's a mutation in the sailor pathway. He's wearing a robe with the patterns of storm and waves. Someone from the Church of Storms. Katlea's pupils contracted. She didn't show any abnormalities as she continued to observe the rest of the members. The son, a young male, perhaps still underage. His attire is rare and has a simple, ancient sense of beauty. It's very tight, making it suitable for combat. Is he a beyonder in this aspect? The world, neither an old man nor a young man. He has a gloomy temperament and wears a hooded robe. He has a feeling as though he's not a living person. No shot she can figure that out. Amon, little pinky toe. That's such a funny name. He's a little pinky toe. That's a funny name. Reading Elotomo while watching makes the stream so much better. I know, dude. I mean, I figured, because everybody, like, when they introduced Katlea in Volume 2, everyone's like, oh my god, it's her. And I was like, bro, like, chill, hold up. I'm barely, like, who is she? Like, there's been no hints. People are like, oh, the hints are there. And people are like, what? I was like, what hints? Now I get it. Yeah, it was Katlea at the pirate convention, dude. And I lost my place. This would not be a stream if I didn't lose my place. Oh, wait, he had a gloomy temperament and wears a hooded robe. And he has a feeling as though he's not a living person, so she can somewhat sense, right, that he's being mimicked. Is this something similar to Senior or Steel Mavetti or some other sequence I'm unaware of? The magician, a young woman, wears a common low-end style dress. Apart from having a trait of languidness, she doesn't have any other characteristics. This kind of person is the easiest to ignore. So she needs to have more attention paid to her. Damn. Yo, what's up, D? That's kind of mean. Hold up. Now I'm kind of... That was a mean comment. This kind of person is the easiest to ignore, so she needs to have more attention paid to her. The Moon, a young man, he sits very casually, black hair, red eyes, and wears an Earth Mother priest robe. There seems to only be one possibility for such a combination, a vampire. Damn, she's smart. As expected, the members of Mr. Fool's Tarot Club aren't that simple. Just a preliminary judgment involving two charges. Katlea withdrew her gaze and met Audrey's gaze. Sensing the other party's intentions to ask, she nodded lightly. The hermit. Katlea had spoken in ancient Phasic, deliberately avoiding the more familiar languages of Intis and Loan, as she had done so back when she was communicating with Mr. Fool. And she had noticed one thing. Mr. Fool had previously told her that the time the gathering was being held was at 3 p.m. on Monday, Backland time. Does this mean that the members of this gathering are currently predominantly made up of people from Lowen? Katlea made her own judgment. Just as Audrey smiled faintly in return. Good afternoon, ma'am hermit. She had noticed that the hermit had been up to and had summarized the person's traits in her heart. She's a very cautious woman who has rich experience in the beyond world. She's quiet but not introverted, and she's very confident in her observation skills. Her certain abilities related to her eye. Ooh, her eyes. Yo, easy. The Dark Emperor. Yo, what's up? Good morning, guys. Is rare to see. Yeah, I know it's rare to see you. Yeah, and it's rare to see me at this time. You know, we're gonna try and cop a Switch 2 today. So I was like, I got a little bit of free time. Furthermore, her clothing style and the short scepter hanging at her waist indicates that her sequence pathway leaning towards the mystery. This requires confirmation. Perhaps it's just a hobby. At the same time, Katlea also managed to clearly make out Miss Justice's clothing. She wears 2 hangman earrings, and her earrings are small and I cannot yet. It's too early. I'm so sorry. Inlaid with very high quality emeralds, which accentuate her emerald green eyes. They're obviously... Ooh, she has green eyes. I'm dreaming just thinking about her. She has emerald green eyes. Are obviously worth a lot. The necklace... Wait. No, I'm sorry. Not her eyes. It's the earrings. The necklace around her neck looks unique. It's lined with diamonds that are quite difficult to count, but it's nothing obscentuous. Damn, she's freaking rich. How much money does she got? Her milky white dress is simple yet beautiful. It's tailored to be elegant and befitting of her status, like the work of a stylish designer. As she went through the details, Katlea couldn't help but close her eyes. A 17, 18-year-old girl, very rich. The way she moves and her etiquette makes her highly suspect to be a noble with a high status, a low and noble. Katlea didn't know why she sighed in her heart. After a round of greetings from Audrey, there was no need for Klein to introduce the original members of the Tarot Club to the Hermit or the Hermit to the rest. That's it. There was literally no need for introductions. Everybody was able to, like, psychoanalyze everybody and figure it out. Yeah, she is a pirate. Yeah, she isn't a pirate animal for nothing, man. Just as she sat down, Audrey once again turned to the very end of the long bronze table. Mr. Fool, I'm out of town and have only managed to find 1 page of the Roselle's diary. At the last gathering, she had provided 2 pages, so she was 2 pages short of paying off the debt. However, with her being in the manor, even if she often went to the city, all she managed was to collect 1 diary page. In addition, due to the addition of the new member, Hermit, she was careful not to mention the psychology alchemist. She didn't mention Backland or East Chester County at all. Roselle, Diary. Cattleya almost lost control and couldn't help quickly turning her head to look at Miss Justice, who sat on the same side as her. She clearly remembered that the tall and beautiful figure had one side. It's a notebook. It's his diary. However, other than him, no one else would be able to understand it. Ooh, shit. Yo, good morning. You guys sound a little excited. Yay, it's her first meeting, dude. The members of the Terror Club know that Roselle's notebook is a diary. Mr. Fool is collecting Roselle's diary. Is he trying to crack it to find the secret hidden in the part of history? This is more like a revived ancient god. All sorts of confused and shocked thoughts surface in Cattleya's mind. Oh, now she's starting to sweat. Now this admiral's getting a little sweaty. She maintained her stainness. Her what? Stainness? I've never said that word in my life. She maintained her staidness, just turning her head in a normal fashion to observe the first transaction. After experiencing many things and trudging her way towards becoming one of the 7 great pirate admirals, she understood that the most important thing for her to do after joining the Terror Club was to listen more and speak less. Okay, that's smart. Mr. Fool, I received 3 pages, 4 said with a smile. They have been mailed to Dorian Gray. At last week's gathering, she hadn't received her teacher's response, and due to the cold weather, she hadn't attended any beyond the gathering, so she couldn't provide a single page. Derek followed immediately. Mr. Fool, I've copied a new legend of the ancient gods. We're getting new lore. A new legend. Tisk, he's always using the legends of ancient gods as a perfunctory... Is Emlyn pissed off? Tisk, he's always using the legends of the ancient gods as a perfunctory payment. Emlyn glanced Shit, bro, the vocabulary leveled up in this chapter. God damn. Emlyn glanced contemptuously.
Tisk, he's always using the legends of ancient gods as a perfunctory payment.
Perfunctory.
Emlyn glanced contemptuously.
Contemptuously. Why have I not been able to read that? I've said contemptuously, but I've never been able to read it. My bad. At the sun, suddenly he thought of something. Although the sun claimed to be the one who worshipped the Lord that created everything, he had never tried to cover up the influences of the giant king Armir had on him. However, he had never mentioned the giant king. So the king has a respective queen. He had never mentioned the giant queen Omebella. I thought we've seen her before. Emlyn he's beefing with a child, bro. He's like, fuck this kid, dude. Like, why the fuck is he gonna talk about all the ancient gods? Oh, wait, no, we have mentioned her, right? Giant King Omebella, who was the Kingdom of Silver's original belief, who was the Kingdom of Silver originally believed in. So, Giant King Amir took the place of Omebella. She was the former Sequence 0 of the giant pathway, if she's a giant, right? Giant Queen Umbella, or like super early stream. Yeah, I know. Time to spend 20 minutes catching up. No, it's all good, Guido. Giant Queen Omebella, who was the Kingdom of Silver originally believed in. Could it be that the City of Silver isn't equal to the Kingdom of Silver? I'll wait a minute and try it out. Emlyn had never been able to get over the sun's earlier slandering of the Sanguins. Oh, is that why? Emlyn had never been able to... This is so funny. Emlyn had never been able to get over the son's earlier slandering of Sanguine. That's why he has beef with a child. 4 pages of Roselle's diary, a legend of the ancient gods. That's pretty good. That's pretty good. I wonder if it contains information about the high elf Kohinium. Alas, after Mr. Hangman learned that the world is a blessed, I cannot take the world, ask questions without any qualms. Klein thought quickly and said with a chuckle, very good. He helped Miss Justice, Miss Magician, and Little Sun conjure their respective content which flashed into the palm of his hand as he casually browsed through them. Mr. Fool doesn't seem to be deciphering it. He can read the Emperor Roselle's diary. What's his background? What is his true identity? If only they knew. Kohainim. Thank you, Clown. What's his true identity? A sense of indescribable terror and dread suddenly welled up in Cattleya's heart. Everybody's a little scared, man. You guys gotta take a chill pill, dude. She quickly retracted her gaze and looked at the long bronze table. She was memorizing the simple patterns of the table surface. The reaction the hermit showed when realizing that Mr. Fool was able to read Roselle's diary exceeded my imagination. Is she concerned with this matter, or is it somehow related to her? Audrey pursed her lips softly. Although the other party hit it quickly and naturally, this was still obvious enough for a sequence 7 from the spectator pathway. Klein sensed the abnormality in the new member of the Hermit because he also wanted to see how this member of the Moses Sent Order, who was a great deal of knowledge, will react to it. This result left him surprised. Isn't that a little too intense? Klein didn't have the luxury of time to think about it as his gaze fell on the first page. I wouldn't say it's a little too intense. I wouldn't say it's a little too intense because she has a great deal of knowledge. She has, wow, my voice is cracky. It's way too early. Because she has a great deal of knowledge, she would definitely be more scared of who he is. I guess that makes sense, right? Like, Audrey and Augur, they can, like, assume, right? But, like, oh, he's the evil god, but they don't know maybe to, like, the full extent compared to Katlia, right? Because she knows more in the world of mysticism. But next chapter, Source of the Matter. All right. Chapter 567 is called 567. 567, new milestone, 567, and then the next new milestone will be 678. All right, Source of the Matter, April 9th. I returned from the Countess Warinka's masquerade. Well, I'm sorry. Is he a fan of a certain album or no? Masquerade party when I suddenly felt an emptiness in my heart. Did you guys understand the reference? Do you guys know what Masquerade album we're talking about or not? One woman, one woman after another, the monstrous and mechanical movements, the indistinguishable smell of perfume, and the warmth from the entanglement of their limbs, all of these in exchange for a few seconds of pleasure, followed by an endless boredom, disgust, emptiness, and numbness. What pleasure is there in such a life? Is the meaning of life to just do this every single day? I can't go on like this. I have to get out of this sorry state. Also, I need to remind myself that I shouldn't habitually write Arabic numerals. Wow, I can't read. That is way too early. Arabic numerals. Emperor, there are actually times when you reflect on yourself and act like a hipster. This doesn't fit with your image of you. Klein almost pricked his brows up. He looked down at the second entry of the diary. April 11th, Countess Warinka invited me to a private salon, and she told me that Ma'am Julia would be there too. Will this conservative blonde girl with hails from Lowen because of her marriage participate as well? I really look forward to it. No, I've been imagining her and... Yo, Rosella's freaky, dude. I've been imagining her in bed for a long time. I hope her husband, Viscount Deline, doesn't mind. What the fuck? Oh my god, I forgot that's how they roll, right? I forgot that's how they roll, man. Damn, I forgot about that. Emperor, have you forgotten what you wrote a few days ago in your diary? Tisk, how nice, isn't it? Also, you have a typo. Mind. Oh, that's so funny. He caught a typo. Klein couldn't help but lampoon. April 14th, I've been attending too many events recently, and the flesh is weak, even though the spirit is willing. The flesh is weak, even though the spirit is willing. But that's nothing. Although I'm still young, I should be careful about the risk of retrograding temperance. The archaeologist sequence has improved my psyche and effectively enhancing a certain degree of my powers. However, this isn't an area of expertise, but just something that comes with it. As I continue raising my sequence, the changes from the previous potions will also intensify. This is my motivation. I feel like the music is a little loud. Apparently, apothecaries can concoct medicine that lack the side effects. Perhaps I should ask it for a few of them. Also, I really have to control myself. Unstrained behavior will only lead to continuous increases in the threshold, and a degree of satisfaction wouldn't be like how it would normally be. Okay. After calming down and thinking about it carefully, there are many things that can be done. Humans are always like this, bound by desire, unable to see what's of value. Why did I transmigrate over here? What secrets lie hidden in the cosmos above my head? Where did the original consciousness come from? Where did the original consciousness come from? And if the I'm sorry, does this imply that Roselle also woke up in another body? Right? Oh, no, stream is buffering. Okay, so we're just lagging on my end, but you guys are chill. So this implies that Roselle also woke up in a body, just like Klein did, right? When he said the original consciousness. Emperor, have you forgotten what you wrote a few days ago in this diary? Tisk, how nice, isn't it? Also, you have a typo. Mind, Klein couldn't help but lampoon. I've been intending... Oh, I just read this. I read this. Ancient one... will only lead to the continuous increase in the threshold and degree of satisfaction. Would it be like, let me read this part again. After calming down and thinking about it carefully, there are many things that can be done. Humans are always like this, bound by desire, unable to see what's of value. Why did I transmigrate over here? What secrets lie hidden in the cosmos above my head? Where the original consciousness come from? And his self-cognition purely comes from one's consciousness. Then who was I before I had the identity of Huang Tao? Oh, that was his real name. Oh, he's talking about his original identity as Huang Tao. Why does the essential part belong to? I thought he confirmed that he woke up in a different body in Backland. Because if he woke up in an original body, then he can probably come back to life if he was killed. And if that's the case, then he probably actually did fake his death. Because after talking with Viz, I'm like, holy shit, yeah, he's right. Like, if he was that smart and able to make all these cards of blasphemy, I feel like it'd make more sense for him to fake his death after an assassination attempt. Right? Like, he comes back just like Klein did, and he stays in hiding. And no one finds out about him until, like, the very end. He was okay, got it. Emperor, are you describing... Whoa, I went off on my end. If I'm live, you guys let me know, but we'll keep reading. Uh-oh, say something went wrong on my end. Emperor, are you describing to me what it means to be a pervert and philosopher before and after the deed? And... so you just post clarity, right? Yeah, so you do have worries about such matters. I thought you were already fixed in certain traits. That's kind of mean, I guess, right? That's pretty funny. I thought you were already fixed in certain traits. Thankfully, you didn't teach Chinese to your children. Yes, you likely didn't teach them. Otherwise, what would they think after seeing such content? Zaratul yeah, he doesn't want them to read it. Zaratul prophesies that your eldest daughter, Bernadette, would be at odds with you and betray you. It's not without reason. Of course, not teaching them is more of a form of protection. Klein was successfully amused by Roselle's diary entries, but he didn't show it on his face. I'm sorry, I gotta mention this. After taking my notes in Volume 2, they mentioned that the 7 pure lights in the spirit world are able to, like, reincarnate in human form. I think Zaratul is one of them. Because it said they would be, like, they would be people, like, that have great knowledge in the world of mysticism, right? Zaratul knows a lot, and he's been talking to Roselle, so I feel like if Zaratul is a 7 pure light, he would know something. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking. I'm gonna lock that in. That's what I'm speculating. It's not without reason. Of course, not teaching them is more of a form of protection. Clan will successfully amuse, cook? Nah, maybe. They would be people that spread knowledge to... Yes. And him spreading his knowledge to humanity is by teaching Roselle whatever he needs to... I feel like he would be teaching him specifically some things because he knows he's a transmigrator, right? That's what I'm thinking. Like, maybe he suspects, and that's why he taught him the acting method. Klang was successfully amused by Roselle's diary entries, but he didn't show it on his face. To him, the diary of Emperor Roselle was both a book of knowledge and a collection of jokes. With this thought, Klein turned to the next page. Like, you never know what you're gonna get. Yeah, look, the 50-50 keeps on the 50-50 keeps on coming. To him, the diary of Emperor Roselle was both a book of knowledge and a collection of jokes. With this thought, Klein turned to the next page of the diary. October 2nd, Zaratul came to visit me again. Now that I've become a demigod, he wishes that I can honor a promise. He wishes to steal the dangerous sealed artifact from the church. Okay. This is a grade 1 sealed artifact. The Antigonus family notebook from the 4th epoch? No shot. Literally, wow, my voice cracked. Zaratul knew. He knew that Klein was gonna end up with a book at one point in time, so he asked Roselle to steal it because he saw what was gonna happen, right? Like, he's probably part of, like, the collective world, right? Like the mind world, and like he knew Klein is gonna end up with his book one day, so he needs Roselle to steal it, right? That's probably what's going on. At this point, Klein's peoples constricted uncontrollably. This was likely the notebook that the Secret Order lost later on. This was likely the notebook that led to Klein Moretti's death and how he, Zhou Mingguri, had used Klein Moretti's corpse to successfully awaken in this world. No shot! What did I guys not... 4951 keeps on... This is what I've been talking about. Zaratul literally told Roselle... A true miracle is bringing the dead back to life, right? Or like resurrecting the dead. And him using that literally led to his death at the end of Volume 1. That's very interesting. had used Klein Morini's corpse to successfully awaken in his world. This was a source of... This is a little interesting. I feel like Zaratul coming back from dead. I feel like Zaratul knows or suspected Klein's eventual transmigration. There's no shot, man. This guy is way too smart. He had used Klein. This was the source of everything. It turns out that it didn't fall in the hands of the secret order from the very beginning. Instead, it was sealed within the Church of the God of Craftsmanship, which later turned into the Church of the God of Steam and Machinery. Zaratul successfully obtained it through Emperor Rizal. Right, the secret order member inside the creeping hunger was very fearful of Zaratul. He believed that Zaratul is an undying and abnormal monster. Undying implies the spirit world, which can imply 7 pure light. And abnormal monster, I guess he would be an abnormal spirit creature, maybe. Does this mean that Zaratul gained benefits through the notebook, but an accident happened? Oh, he turned from a person who could communicate normally with Zaratul into a monster. Therefore, this eventually led to the loss of the Antigonus family notebook. Of course, it cannot be ruled out that Zaratul deliberately allowed it to be lost, so it can end up in the hands of Klein. Yes, as Zaratul became a monster, the Secret Order lost all the mermaids, causing the subsequent faceless beyonders to risk their lives out at sea. Rosago succeeded because he attempted to enter the sea, which is a ruin of a battle between gods. Let me reread this part again. Well, the only reason I'm saying that, Paul, is because they mentioned that a 7 pure light can take on a human form, and then they would be like someone of high status in the world of mysticism, right? And like I find Zaratul to be, I think, one of the most interesting characters when it comes to Roselle's time. And I don't know, there are way too many coincidences. Like, he steals the Antigonus family notebook. He tells him that a true miracle is bringing the dead back to life. Maybe he knows that Roselle is writing all these entries and Klein is going to be reading it. Like, maybe Zaratul is going to, like, subtly speak to Klein through Roselle's entries, right? Maybe. Rosago succeeded because he attempted to enter the sea, which is a ruin of a battle between gods. All of these thoughts flashed through Klein's mind, causing his heart to feel abnormally heavy. He didn't assume that the Antigonus family notebook had encountered very closely related to Rizal, because the theory he always had stemmed from the law of the convergence of the beyonder characteristics, and that some of the details that followed were in line with a similar logic. Are they all involved in the upper echelons of the seer pathway? Klein glanced over the palace and took in an endless gray fog. Could it be the cause? He asked himself this question once more from the bottom of his heart. Studying his emotions, Klein went on to read the subsequent diary pages. I'll have to do it depending on the situation. If it's easy to steal and there's no risk of exposure, I'll try to do it. Ain't no way. Otherwise, I'll pretend as though none of this ever happened. It doesn't matter, even if Zaratul were to expose me. With my present identity, status, sequence, and influence, as long as I'm willing to repent, the church won't do anything to me. About that. We're talking about G Fuel? The other two, sponsored, not sponsored by G Fuel. The other two diary pages recorded Rizal's train of thought towards constructing his plan to steal the notebook, but none of them seemed likely to succeed. However, Klein knew that Rizal eventually obtained the notebook and handed it over to the head of the secret order, Zaratul. After a moment's thought, Klein turned the page. December 10th. I once again attended the ancient and secret gathering. At the gathering, I discovered that they were unanimous in being extremely hostile to the Solomon Empire of the 4th epoch. I raised the question, which Mr. Hermes quickly answered. In the 4th epoch, the alien supporters of the Solomon Empire was the true creator. 2 barks, alien, you're out. 3 barks, you're out. In the 4th epoch, the alien supporter of the Solomon Empire was a true creator. Okay, she wants to go out. Really? Wait. The true... Okay. Alright, that's new lore. The alien supporter of the Solomon Empire was a true creator. So now we have more concrete evidence that the Forsaken Lands and the world of Lord of Mysteries is connected in some way. We just don't know how, right? We still don't know exactly how Jack ended up there when he went through the storm. I'm still locking in maybe the Abyss, maybe. But here, let's keep reading. This is very real. I resisted the urge to ask what exactly our organization had done in the history of the 4th epoch, but as I left the palace and returned from my dreams, I found that Mr. Hermes... I forgot Mr. Hermes is part of the organization. The Hermit Twilight are there. Mr. Hermes' route this time coincided with mine to a certain extent. This ancient man who lived since the cataclysm definitely knew more. I built up a rapport with him and earnestly asked him the question, is that why the organization hates the true creator? Is it solely because he had used the creator's holy name and his name? Mr. Hermes chuckled and said that there weren't such superficial creatures. He asked me in return if I knew of the actual abilities of a shepherd were. Of course, was my answer. All right, he knew. He asked again in a profoundly meaningful manner, who do you think would be most likely to develop in the direction of being an omnipotent and omniscient among all the present gods? The first thought that came to me was the shepherd pathway, which could engage in the devouring and grazing. Devouring and grazing, so as to control the souls and characteristics of other beyonders. So that's the reason. This page only has this diary entry, but it contains a lot of information. The Solomon Empire originally came under the true creator's camp. Yes, in the Tudors family underground ruins that there are humanoid statues of the 6 true gods. Although it isn't certain whether they were worshipping or desecrating the gods, one thing is certain: the 6 gods were involved in the affairs of the 3 empires, and they later had a close relationship with the Turnsoist dynasty. Did the 3 great empires represent 3 different camps of gods? Okay, hold up. Klein tried to use his archaeological discovery and historical knowledge to decipher the hidden truth of the previous epoch, but he was still shrouded in fog. Towards Hermes, the oldest master of mysticism, Klein's answers came closer to result. As the Beyonder sequence was raised, the saints and angels of the shepherd pathway was able to engage in the grazing of more souls, gaining more and more beyond powers. Ellie, wait. And the end of the true creator had finished grazing the other 21 Beyonder pathways. I'm sorry. Was this not what we were talking about with Wiz the other day? And the end of the true creator had finished grazing the other 21 Beyonder pathways. He would, to some extent, the omnipotent and omniscient creator. Yo, wait, yes. What the fuck? If you start wait, I'm sorry. Hold up. Too much of a is this implying that if you were to take all the authorities of the other pathways, this and that, like you beat them in battle? Ellie's going crazy. She's freaking out over here. She wants attention. Yeah, she wants attention, right, dude? Wait. Does this? So if you consume all the other like deity authorities and whatnot, like you will eventually turn into the the omnipotent, omniscient god. Wait, no, hold up. OOG is different from the OG. Oh, but hold up. Those are different gods. True creator can graze. This is so wild, bro. Secret supplicant is so fucking badass. Holy shit. It leads to omnipotence. And the omnipotence and omniscient god was the ancient sun god. Whoa, okay, whoa, there's so much to digest here, brothers and sisters. I think Secret Supplicant is the best pathway. I know, she might just lose control. Ellie, I'm gonna need you to chill. Hold up, this is way too... Secret Supplicant is so badass. Okay, alright. I think this is my favorite pathway. I genuinely believe this is my favorite pathway. The true creator shit, dude, Romero almost got me. More Secret Supplicant glaze? Dude, until we get more on Monster, like everybody's been saying, I'm locking in Secret Supplicant. Sorry, I'm not dissing to all my Monster fans. But yo, that's a theory though. Yeah, I know. That's what I'm assuming. Damn, Romero was actually spitting facts, bro, since chapter 1. You guys have always told me Cowardly Trio over... wait, hold up. I don't want to know who. I don't want to. Wait, hold up. Don't worry. That wasn't a spoiler yet. No, there was no spoiler. He didn't say over what. Klein did imply like what, like were the 3 believers of the camp, like why would the 3 of them be together? Okay, what a reveal. This is crazy, dude. I think Secret Supplicant is my favorite pathway. Holy shit. So that's the reason. Damn, that is sus. I'm gonna spontaneously. I'm combusting something over here. What was it? I came, I saw, I conquer. Let's finish that thought process. Towards Hermes, the oldest master of mysticism, Klein answered came closer results. As a Beyonder sequence was raised, the saints and angels of the shepherd pathway were able to engage in the grazing of more souls, gaining more and more Beyonder powers. And the end of the true creator had finished grazing the other 21 Beyonder pathways. He would to some extent the omnipotent and omniscient creator. That is crazy. Yo, hold up, man. I'm almost being suckered in, bro. You almost got me. You got me, Romero. You got me. You almost got me. You guys almost got me. There are still a lot of secrets hidden in the sequence pathways. Klein's turned to the 4th page. This diary page recorded the actions Rizal took after he consumed the Savin potion. He read a lot, studied a lot, tapped down on his foundation very firmly, and increased the scope and depth of his knowledge to a whole new level. In this period of time, he had almost no entertainment. Learning was his greatest form of entertainment. Yeah, dude. No, we can't get corrupted. We'll be careful. In one of the diary entries he wrote, when a person knows with certainty how much he will gain after putting in the effort and is able to directly tell how much he gains, then he will certainly work as hard as I am now. Isn't this the fundamental attraction of my many games? Klein turned over the last diary and read the legend of the ancient gods provided by Little Sun. During the entire process, the majestic palace was completely silent. Be it Justice or the Moon, they were both considering what to trade and communicate later on. It was the first time the hermit Ketlia had encountered such a situation, but she didn't feel uneasy or uncomfortable at all. Instead, she carefully analyzed the information that the scene revealed. This isn't the first time this is happening. Mr. Fool has the habit of reading Rizal's diary at the Terra Gathering. The members will proactively or passively search for the pages of him. However, it can be confirmed if there are any advance payments. He really can read Rizal's diaries. He's searching for secrets that have sunken in the rivers of history. Just now, the Sun mentioned the information he handed in was about the legends of ancient gods. This is roughly in line with my previous speculations. At this point in time, Klein had roughly finished reading the new piece of information regarding ancient gods. In the second epoch, in those dark years, every ancient god had a god. What? In the second epoch, in those dark years, every ancient god had a god attached to them. Just like the dragon of imagination, Enkelwelt, and his children, the dragon of nightmare, Alzuhud. Okay. All right, don't join the dark side. We're gonna see, man. You know what? Look, guys, once you join the dark side, it's actually gonna be holy and righteous, right? Right? Like if it becomes omniscient, omnipotent, then he just becomes an ancient sun god. So technically, we are joining his beautiful radiance, right? We are technically joining his beautiful radiance, right? So we're technically not joining the dark side, right? The Lord will help you. Fuck shit, dude. Hey, that's a little tempting, brother. That's a little tempting. Chapter 568 is called Subsidiary. Did I read that wrong? Subsidiary gods. Thank you for guys subscribing. Subsidiary gods. So this is like the son of nightmares, right? Of all the. Wait, so does that mean all right, I feel like my audio is spiking. So all 8 ancient gods that were mentioned, they have their own lesser god, like their own children. Oh, and they probably had children to help them digest their potion. That's probably what it was, right? In the information provided by the Sun, there. Oh, wait, hold up. All right, chapter 558. After not getting sidetracked for like 10 minutes, it's called Subsidiary Gods. In the information provided by the Sun, we're reading this part. Hold up, let's reread it. He's a provoker. I'm gonna tell him you guys said that. I'm gonna see how he takes that. And the information provided by the Sun, there were detailed examples of some typical subsidiary gods, but most of the information didn't provide their true names, only their titles. These included the goddess of beauty and the goddess of life, who were subsidiaries of the vampire ancestor Lilith, the god of misfortune, the god of the dead, who were subsidiaries of the. Oh, okay. There's so much new lore. Oh my god, I got. You know what? At least I get to hopefully finish my volume 2 notes today, or as much as I can. Okay. These included the goddess of beauty and the goddess of life, who were subsidiaries to the vampire ancestor Lilith, the goddess of misfortune, and the god of the dead, who were subsidiaries to the annihilation demon wolf Legera, the god of luck and the Queen of Calamity, who were subsidiaries to Elf King, son of Threen, and so on and so forth. Okay. Queen of Calamity. Klein suddenly thought of the Book of Calamity and the golden wine cup he had taken from the ruins of the High Elf. The name Kohenim and the word Calamity was engraved on in Elvish. This caused him to make the connection to Kohenim was the Elf King subsidiary of the Queen of Calamity. Shit, dude. Unfortunately, I can't directly seek confirmation with Little Sun. I have to wait for further investigation from him. Klein sighed silently. At the same time, he had made some theories about the fact that these titles didn't correspond with their true names. The City of Silver was originally the King of Silver that came under the Giant King's court rules. Other than having sufficient understanding of its own forces and enemies, the information regarding the other ancient gods will only come with the legends of the rumors, and they aren't that detailed. Compared to the simple and easy to understand titles, a god's true name can be consistent and complicated in different words to remember, which one can make it harder for them to be spread. I think I read that last part wrong. I think that last sentence I read and I just read. Sorry. The information provided to Klein when he turned over the page confirmed his theory. However, it gave him new doubts. New doubts? The dragons also had a dragon of wisdom, which was equivalent to a god in the City of Silver called Herabergen, and under Giant King Armir, there was also his eldest son, the god of dawn, Badhael, and his queen, the goddess of harvest. Why doesn't the goddess of harvest have a real name? Isn't she the queen of Giant King's court? The City of Silver should have records of it. These so-called subsidiary gods are equal to the angels or the king. Oh, right here. These so-called subsidiary gods are equal to the angels or the king of angels of later times. Oh, like Amon and Adam, right? Right, like Angel of Time, or like Ouroboros, Angel of Fate, Snake Devourer. Please note. Oh, don't worry. I know we are finalizing our Volume 2 notes, and we are right behind on Volume 3. Don't worry. We are gonna. I have done 0 notes on Volume 3. I'm just organizing my Volume 2 notes. My Volume 1 notes are done, so I can post it on Discord now, and then I will have my Volume 2 notes hopefully up within the week. Yes, the sequence 2 of, and then we start our Volume 3 notes. Yes, the sequence 2 of their pathway and the sequence 1s of their other pathways. Klein suppressed his perplexion and inferred the truth from the information recorded in the card of blasphemy. Within the same pathway, if there was a sequence 0, then there wouldn't be a sequence 1. And if there was no sequence 0, then there... I don't get this. Hold up! Let me reread this part again. These so-called subsidiary gods are equal to the angels or the kings of angels of later times. Yes, the sequence 2 of their pathway and the sequence 1s of the other pathways. Klein suppresses perplex. Oh, like if they were to change pathways, they can be that sequence 1. Klein suppresses perplexion and infer the truth from the information recorded on the card of blasphemy. Within the same pathway, if there was a sequence 0, then there wouldn't be a sequence 1, and if there was no sequence 0, then there would at most be 3 sequence 1s. No, we know this. Okay, so there would at most be 3 sequence 1s. Yeah, like with Will, Awesome Tim, and the other Snake of Mercury's. All right. However, and they're fighting for the position of sequence 0. Okay, that makes sense. However, Klein didn't dare to base his judgment on this. After all, his knowledge was partial, and he didn't even know if there were any preconditions for the sequence 0 and sequence 1, which was derived from the law of beyond characteristics, conservation, and indescribability. I'll assume this for the time being. Klein leaned back, letting the information in his hands disappear, smiling as he said, "You may begin." At this point, Oliver was still seriously examining himself. I'm sorry. Why do they need children? Right? Like, unless they still need to digest sequence 0? What, should I delete this? Oh, no, it's okay. It was a spoiler. I didn't read it. Wait, hold up. So, even if you've digested sequence 1 and then you hit sequence 0, I thought that was the end game. You still need to fully digest sequence 0, right? And that's why they're having children to burden their digestion of sequence 0. I didn't delete my message. No, it's I think Romero got it. No, it's okay. Don't worry, I didn't read it as a spoiler. Dude, holy fucking shit, man. Wiz pieced that shit together, huh? Like, they still need a digester potion for whatever reason. Like, for whatever, like, maybe you have, like maybe sequence 0 is S tier, but then once you digest it, you're, like, triple S tier, like SSS tier. Yeah, so they're excess characteristics. Yeah, no, so it's like they're having children for all their excessive characteristics so they can lighten their burden. I mean, we know that's the same sequences you get stronger after digesting. Yeah, that's true. So sequence. Wait. I don't know if that's. We're not confirming, right? Wait, hold up. Before we talk about it too much, we're good, right? So sequence 0 without digestion would be weaker than sequence 0 with digestion. Yeah. So it's like you have an S tier and then you have like a triple S tier. It's confirmed already. Okay. And that's what Klein was referring to in Volume 2 when he talked about how the ancient sun god took on all these other authorities, and then he's all like this is beyond sequence 0, right? Okay, so I feel like wait, that's something else. Fully digesting a potion at sequence 0. No, fully digesting sequence 0 is different from what Klein said. No, maybe. I don't know. Because we know he said that. Like, he said, this is beyond sequence 0. When the ancient sun god was taking in the other authorities. And then that's what, theories. And then that's what Wiz was talking about. Wiz was like, there has to be something above 0. I'm still thinking towards the latter, where it's like, they're coming closer to becoming the original creator. And like, then... like, just whoever has the most authorities or like the most, right? Or like the most characteristics would be like the one closest to the original one, right? That's how I'm interpreting it. But like, maybe. I mean, we'll find out. Let's keep reading. However, Klein didn't dare to base his judgment on this. Oh, wait, I just read this. I'll assume this for the time being. Klein leaned back, letting the information in his hands disappear, smiling. He said, "You may begin." At this point, Olga was still seriously examining himself. After considering how to communicate properly, he had used the technique of being in the other person's shoes. He started from the point of view of the hermit who was suspected of being Adam or Stars to see what exactly he had exposed. Mr. Fools protects every member's true identity with a blurred and distorted image, but this method doesn't affect the representation of colors. Oh, dark brown colors can be difficult to distinguish, but bright colors are easily to grasp. At the very least, I can tell that Miss Justice is blonde with bright... Oh, I thought they were talking about like their spiritual colors. No, he's talking about like their physical appearance. Okay. And for me, the most obvious thing I can't hide is my dark blue hair, but this doesn't say anything. It's not a problem to say that a dark blue hair is a common mutation in the Beyonders within the Sailor pathway, but the conserve isn't true. This is because such traits are hereditary on the Sonia Island and the Berserk Sea around Desi Bay. They were places where elves originally gathered. Many humans with traces of elven blood... I'm sorry. Olga has elven blood? Will also have dark blue hair. Huh? It's the same for districts where there are certain number of churches of Storm's Beyonders. Ignoring any other trace is difficult for the hermit to determine any further information based on the situation. Just as Olga heaved a sigh of relief, he caught sight of the storm robe he was wearing. After returning to the Blue Avenger, not only when he was captain of the ship, but he was also the bishop of the sailors. He often needed to wear the corresponding clothes to celebrate mass. If he didn't show his devotion in his daily actions, there might come a day when he would be reported by his subordinates. The Church of Storms has always been wary of those members who were drifting out at sea for a long time, as prolonged acting as pirates might one day turn into real pirates. Prolonged acting as pirates might one day turn them into real pirates. In any case, the Lord of Storms has never given a revelation to exclude pirates from his followers. Oh, that's why. It's never been specifically excluded. Got it. Under cover of that blurred distortion, it's hard to see the details of the one's clothing clearly. This isn't a problem, however. I still have to pay attention in the future. During the Tyre gatherings, I should change into a set of ordinary clothes. Although I can't be sure. It's too late now. You should have thought about that before, bro. Although I can't be sure, I still have to treat her as a pirate admiral. I can't afford to be careless. Olga thought cautiously. At this moment, he heard the seemingly suppressed voice of the Moon Emlyn, which was a result of him being unable to hide his emotions. Mr. Hangman, I've done the preparations. When can you obtain the inheritance of the Sanguine Baron? You mentioned before that it's in the hands of some powerful pirate. You didn't have to say the last sentence. You mentioned before that it's in the hands of some powerful pirate. He's like, Olga's like, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. I'm trying to hide, dude. You didn't have to say the last sentence. Olga's body instantly stiffened. He's like, ah, shit, powerful pirate. The hermit's eyes swept over the hangman once again. Oliver's expression didn't change. He's like, oh, no. As he turned his head to the moon and asked, have you obtained the funds? Of course, Emlyn raised his neck. He originally wanted to wait until the 3-month maturity was up before he went to the bank to withdraw the money, but he soon discovered that he was in a completely different mood after deciding to buy the Seguin Baron's inheritance. He no longer had any qualms or hesitation. He was filled with the expectation and desire, wishing that he could get his hands on it immediately. It was just like how he felt in the past when he was about to buy a beloved doll. He had held back for more than a week before finally giving up selling the acceptance draft. Although he had lost some money, it was still acceptable. In many situations, an acceptance draft could be used as a currency. I'll get it for you within the week. Finally, let's confirm the price. £4,500. Is that alright? Seeing that a deal was about to be struck, Oliver didn't pursue the moon's act of exposing him. Emlyn thought about the dolls in his room, cleared his throat, and said with his eyes furtively darting around, "Can it be cheaper? It's not up to me to decide, but I can try to acquire it for you at the lowest price. Also, don't forget my commission. Let's lower it here. How about £300? Oliver's tone didn't change at all. All right, Emlyn exhaled quietly. Not a very powerful powerful. Oh, did I just read? Not a very powerful vampire, an underaged or a recently matured one. Leah silently watched from the sidelines and made her judgment. Seeing that the deal between Mr. Hangman and Mr. Mole had been concluded in a few seconds, Audrey habitually felt that she should buy something. In a week or two, I'll contact the members of the Psychology Alchemists in each Chester County and tell them that I've become a Psychology Alchemist member. I'll exchange my contribution points for the subsequent potion formulas. There's no need to make a request to purchase it here for the time being. Once I find out what ingredients are needed, I can ask for everyone's help. There's no need to buy any mystical items for now. I've already had one of them reimbursed. Sorry, I burped. Being able to obtain such rare items with too great a frequency might imply many problems. Audrey thought raced as she came up with an idea, so like she has to slow down. Okay. She turned halfway and looked at the gloomy man at the end of the table. Mr. World, you mentioned that you have clues to the characteristics left behind by psychiatrists. Have you successfully acquired it? I planned on buying it for Susie, she suddenly added in her heart. In fact, when she was considering this matter, she had another slightly mischievous idea, which was to find an excuse, Mr. Fool, to turn over the Black Emperor card, which sat beside him. From her point of view, Ma'am Hermit was particularly affected by the matter regarding Roselle's diary, and for how her reaction was extraordinarily excessive before she quickly hid it, it was quite possible that she knew about the cards of blasphemy. Oh, I thought maybe she had like a surplus of Roselle diary pages that she was gonna give to him. Okay, so she might know about the cards of blasphemy. Therefore, the moment she saw it, she was exposed to a lot of problems and expressed the truest thoughts in her heart. But she dismissed the idea in the end, not because she thought it would be bad to sound out Ma'am Hermit, but this was a way of showing responsibility to both herself and the entire club, and that she doesn't make decisions for Mr. Fool. If he wanted Ma'am Hermit to recognize the card of blasphemy, he definitely would have flipped it open himself. If he didn't want to do so, then any attempts would be against his will. Audrey nodded solemnly, but almost imperceptibly. Damn, I read that wrong. I'm sorry. At this moment, the world replied hoarsely, if you are certain that you want it, then I will give it to you as soon as possible. The price is £1,800. Normally, it would be more appropriate to charge £1,200 to £1,500 for a psychiatrist beyond her characteristic, but Klein had raised the premium slightly to see how much Miss Justice could pay. All right, Audrey agreed with a light tone. He raised it a little bit. Just a little bit. She had paid off the money owed to Viscount Glint, and she had received many gifts from having reached adulthood after returning to her family's field. It was a time when her finances were in the rather good condition. She had even arranged for the money to be returned to Mr. Fool's blessed next month. In the future, her monthly income would be £3,000, and a substantial portion of her normal expenses wasn't going to be borne by her, due to the love of her parents and the results of her previous meritorious exploits. While the two were discussing, the Hanged Man was somewhat surprised. The world had just sold the Faceless beyond a characteristic the previous time, and he had recently acquired Steel Mavetti's body beyond her characteristic. Yes, he appeared to have a psychiatrist characteristic in his collection, and all of this happened in less than a month. On second thought, Augur quickly came to an understanding. The world repressed a group of blessed... What is this glazing? Hold up. Audrey ain't haggling. He's like, she don't know how to haggle. She's like, because for her it's chump change. So there's no need for her. There's no need to haggle chump change. Like, are you gonna give me 10 cents or 20 cents? Right? Bargaining isn't a word. Yeah, it's not. Bargaining is not part of her vocabulary. I think it was in the beginning when she was still under her allowance and she had to like keep money tight. That was like the first time she's like, so this is what it's like to not use my money. That was the first time she had that thought. Haggling doesn't look noble enough. That's true. A true noble would not haggle. think Klein should raise the price next time. I think he should raise it another 300. The world represented a group of blessed Mr. Fools that might be the harvest from the other blessed. So he assumes the world represents a group of blesseds of Mr. Fool that might be the harvest from the other blessed. As he imagined this, the world, if only he knew it was Klein the whole time, which he probably will at the end. As he imagined this, the world who was Klein was in a state of shock towards Miss Justice's opulence. He had thought that Miss Justice, who had just spent 5,500 pounds on a mystical item, wouldn't be as well off as before. It just like last year, she had reserved space for her to haggle. It was just like last year, so she had reserved space for her to haggle. Who knew that she will still agree to the deal without hesitation? As she dug up a gold mine, Klein couldn't help but silently lampoon. Seeing that they had finished their discussion, Derek hurriedly raised his hand, having learned from Miss Justice. Which one of you has the fruit of the Radiant Spirit Pact Tree? He had rather successfully collected the other ingredients of the Solar High Priest Potion. There you go. Is almost there. Just as Leah had initially figured out, Miss Justice was a yet-to-advance psychiatrist. She already figured it out. She heard the request. After a few seconds of silence, she said, I do. What can you provide in exchange? After observing for a long time, she decided to intervene in a small transaction to gain a deeper understanding of how the Terror Club operated. I can use the history of the City of Silver or the history of dragons, elves, and other dragon creatures to barter. Derek said sincerely, Ma'am Hermit, this is a list of commonly seen monsters around the City of Silver. You can choose any ingredients you need from it. How honest. Klein almost looked up at the dome of the magnificent palace. What is he talking about? She's like, what the fuck is this kid on about? Fucking dragons? Elves? City of Silver? What the fuck? What is he talking about? Can Leah frown slightly, momentarily failing to understand a single word from the sun? She's like, what the fuck is this kid talking about, dude? This is such a cool-ass tarot gathering. I know we've been, like, I feel like we've been stalling a lot, but this is such a good chapter, dude. This is so cool. I think I get it. I know why people say the tarot gatherings are their favorite parts of this series. Like, it's so cool seeing all these characters interact from different parts of the world, this and that, and exchange info and whatnot. It's so cool. Badoon, I know we had a few Badoon moments today. She is bamboozled. She bamboozled it, and everybody's like, this sucker. I bet you Auger's laughing his ass off. Like, oh, she doesn't know about the City of Silver. Oh, she doesn't know about dragons, elves. Oh, I guess she's gonna have to give a potion to hear info we already know. Like that. This is so funny. You know what's funny? I can so see Derek always using this same thing as a bargaining tip. As a bargaining chip. Every time we get a new member, he's like, well, I can give you information on the City of Silver, you know? And then everybody's gonna be really quiet. He's gonna be like, huh, he got another one. That's probably what's gonna happen, dude. Yo, what's up, Misty? What's up, dude? How's it going? All right, chapter 569. Dovey stalling. Check this out. No, I'm kidding, dude. I'm kidding. Chapter 569 is called A Straw Will Show Which Way to the Wind Blows. After a brief moment of consideration, the hermit Katlia made her choice that benefited her the most. She said, without betraying her emotions, I'll make a decision after seeing what the commonly seen monsters are around the City of Silver. Another person who gains something without risking anything of her own. Are the people who spend too much time at sea good at fleecing others? Or is little son in such a state that makes it impossible to resist fleecing him? Klein safely excluded himself from the group of the seafarers. Alright, under Justice and Company's scrutiny, Derek didn't hesitate to agree to Ma'am Hermit's request. He recalled the content and conjured it, recording the most commonly seen monsters around the City of Silver into a list. However, it wasn't as detailed as before, and there were quite a few missing. After all, the sun's pathway improved in regards to his memory was rather limited. A few days had passed. Katlia received a piece of information and read through it in a serious manner. The more she scanned through it, the more alarmed she became. This was because the types of monsters had far exceeded her expectations by nearly 100 times. Most of the names used were ancient names, if not for her being a Moses Ascent Order member who had been pursued by knowledge and having reached Sequence 5, making her experienced and knowledgeable. There's no way she could have known what these names would be really referring to. But even so, there were still a few monsters she had never heard of. They were like shadows who would never reveal themselves in dreams of imagination, forever lurking in the depths of darkness. Where exactly is the City of Silver? Why are there so many monsters? 10 seconds later, Katlia raised her head without a change in expression. She said with a stained tone, use the history of your City of Silver in exchange. All right, Derek's eyes lit up and he seemed to see hope in advancing. Aw. He soon conjured the historical materials of the City of Silver with the help of Mr. Full. Having had ample experience, he knew that even more complete and detailed information was worth more than in fruit of a radiant spirit pact tree. Hence, he retained some of what he knew. There you go. Katlia knew that she wasn't Mr. Full, so it was impossible for her to let the members patiently wait for her to finish reading. Therefore, she casually flipped through it. After confirming its value, she deliberately asked, "How should I hand over the fruit of the radiant spirit packed tray to you. Just as she said that, she suddenly thought of something. With a guess, she looked to the end of the long bronze table. Mr. Fool, is it done by sacrificial ritual? This left Audrey, who had prepared to answer, to be clear, says like, oh, she figured it out. She swallowed the words and she was about to say, aw, Audrey's so sad, dude. Aw, Audrey's like, oh my god, I can't wait to tell her about the ritual. She's like, ah, fuck, she figured it out. All right. Ma'am Herman is very impressed and knowledgeable. She directly guessed that it's done via sacrificial ritual and bestowment ritual. Audrey controlled her minute facial expressions, and she clicked her tongue. Did she tisk at her? She clicked her tongue and sighed inwardly. Damn, she didn't get a brag. She's mad. Yes, Klein gently nodded without going into detail. He believed that it was impossible for a pirate admiral, a sequence 5 powerhouse of the mystery pirate pathway, to not know how her sacrifice was made. This was even something they were good at. Furthermore, she knew the fool's honorific name, so she didn't lack any of the necessary conditions. Indeed, with a godlike existence, bearing witness to a gathering, a sacrificial and bestowment methods is the safest and most convenient way of trading, and a conservation through the soul body can result in direct knowledge transfer. Katlia thanked him before saying to the son, I'll do it as soon as possible. Although she doesn't show any abnormalities, her heart was in no way calm. From her casual flipping of the information provided by the son, she discovered that the city of Silver was truly filled with oddities. It included matters about being forsaken by the Lord, how it didn't have a sun, resulting in a state of eternal darkness and high and low frequent lightning. Matters like how the strange and terrifying monsters hid in the darkness when there was no light, and how they survived thanks to the black-faced grass. It mentioned that they had survived for more than 2,000 years since the Dark Ages. All of this exceeded Katlia's expectations. You know, man, the more I think about it, after talking about Wiz, you know how like we were dissing Planter? I'm thinking the black-faced grass is a result of someone on the Planter pathway. Like, and that's the only reason, like that's the only thing that exists on that land. Like, probably like the Abyss, or like, you know, like like when the city of Silver fell, or the Forsaken Lands fell, no life was sustainable. A person part of the Planter pathway realized, like, for me to save my people, or like the people I lived with, like, I'm gonna create the black-faced grass. Like, the only thing that can grow in this like desolate land, right? That's probably what it is. Otherwise, everybody would have been dead a long time ago. So we should not be dissing the Planter pathway, because this guy or lady just saved like everybody that was remaining in the Forsaken Lands, right? Or in the City of Silver. It mentioned that they all survived for more than 2,000 years since the Dark Ages. All of this exceeded Katlia's expectations. As a powerhouse at the sea who was knowledgeable and had acquired many secrets, she instantly connected the time and descriptions to the faintest concept in history, the Cataclysm. Following that, she followed this line of thought and made a further inference, the Forsaken Lands of God. Suddenly, the figure she looked up to the surface in Katlia's mind once again, a sentence filled with an emotive sigh. An emotive? I'm sorry, is this supposed to say emotion size surface? He had always been searching for the Forsaken Lands of Gods back when he was alive. He said that the ultimate answer towards everything is hidden there. Well, I'm sorry, wait. I had tunnel vision. Following that, she followed this line of thought and made a further inference. She figured that out. The Forsaken Land of God. Wait, did they rename it to the Forsaken Land of God? I thought it was the Forsaken Land of Gods. Is it God? Or is that what she's inferring? Suddenly, the figure she looked up to surface in Katlia's mind once again, a sentence filled with an emotive side surface. He had always been searching for the Forsaken Land of God back when he was alive. He said that the ultimate answer towards everything is hidden there. The sun comes from the Forsaken Land of God, which Emperor Roselle couldn't find despite all his efforts. Oh. Roselle never found it. Oh, I thought it was the Forsaken Land of Gods. Oh, never mind. Mr. Fool can connect to that place directly. No, perhaps he awoke from that place, Katlia thought in alarm and solemnity. She had previously belittled the Terror Clubs because the moon, justice, and the sun were low sequences. She believed that with Mr. Fool having awoken only recently, he was obviously unable to pull members of significant strength. However, she now had to reevaluate the matters. It involves the Forsaken Land of Gods, the Church of Storms, the Church of Earth Mother, the Lowen aristocrats. Perhaps it's precisely because they're low sequences that these members can be nurtured to be able to reach higher ranks in their respective circles without being suspected. This will allow them to play a more important role. As for me, it's because of the Moses Ascent Order or Her Majesty. Katlia seriously analyzed the motives of Mr. Fool. At this moment, the transactions were nearly coming to an end. The moon, the sun, and justice had all confirmed their respective transactions. As for the hermit Katlia, she was still observing. she was still observing. Out of caution, she didn't rashly open her mouth to expose her more information about herself. Olga had originally planned on making a request to buy the Sequence 5 Ocean... Is that revealed? Sequence 5 Ocean Songsters potion formula so that they could make the subsequent preparations. But with the addition of the Hermit, he became especially wary. He gave up on the decision at the last minute to prepare to push it back until he had really advanced to Windblessed. Only with him being stronger would he have the room to breathe. As Force would be able to obtain the astrologer potion formula and a certain amount of ingredients from her teacher soon, she hadn't prioritized her purchases yet, so all she did was watch silently. She actually curbed her desire to buy a mystical item to make up for her relatively showy trickmaster powers that were lacking in strength, as well as how her apprentice powers were only good for passing through the walls and opening doors. However, her real life circumstances restricted her desires. Up to this day, her savings had exceeded 400 pounds. For a member of the middle class, that was rather good. She clearly remembered how Miss Justice had bought a mystical item for 5,500 pounds previously. Even if it was a relatively average mystical item without significant negative side effects, it would still require 1,000 to 2,000 pounds. Force languidly sat there, unable to open her mouth to make a purchase. Klein controlled the world to scan his surroundings before hoarsely saying, "I need a pair of eyes from a six-winged gargoyle, the supplementary ingredients of a marionettist, Drago bark, and the spring water from the Sonia Islands, Golden Spring, were commonly seen items in the mysterious world. As long as he purchased them at different occasions, he wouldn't garnish suspicion from anyone. Therefore, Klein only requested for the eyes of the six-winged gargoyle." Damn, he's smart. Also, lore channel been slacking today. I know. Hold new info. Well, I'm still finishing my notes for volume 2. She had noticed that the previous transaction. Well, I'm finishing organizing it. So I was going through our lore channel from volume 2 on Discord, and then going through my notes, and then we're kind of like just organizing everything. She had noticed that the previous transactions were all made in the Lowen's gold coin, as expected of the Admiral Stars, who had a pirate crew of ancient factions backing her. She is very resourceful, and her prices are cheaper than usual. If not for Little Sun's imminent advancement and how he would soon obtain the method of removing the mental corruption of a bionic characteristic, I would have even consulted her on this problem, Klein thought as he made the world smiled deeply. Okay. With the transaction completed, the palace that resembled a giant's resistance fell silent for more than 10 seconds. With Mr. Fool's reminder, Justice to the Sun and company knew that they had entered the free exchange segment. The hangman Olger deliberately looked at Miss Justice and Miss Magician without looking at Ma'am Hermit. He doesn't even want to look at her. Cut us some sack. No, it's okay. Yeah, we're playing Minecraft. We like Minecraft. This is a fun game. Did you guys watch the movie, by the way? Something major recently happened in Rorschach Archipelago. He didn't plan on divulging the world's involvement, since it was very likely that Mr. Fool was in possession of the Sea God's identity. If he were to rashly confirm this matter, it might spoil Mr. Fool's plans and throw himself into danger. He planned on using a normal tone to mention the happenings on the surface while emphasizing the Moses Sent Order member, archaeologist and adventurer Leticia. He planned on using this to sound out the hermit figure as if she was Admiral Star's Katlia. This was because this pirate admiral was rumored to also be a member of the Moses Sent Order. What happened? Justice asked with piqued interest. I lost my place. Olger said calmly, a disguised archaeologist, Leticia, discovered an ancient elven ruins in the Simene Island and took out an item from it. This pushed the deity, the local believers, and sea god Kalvatua to be on the brink of collapse. This fake god wished to create tsunamis to drown the island so that everyone could accompany it in death, but it's what stopped the Church of Storm Seeking. But it was stopped by the Church of the Storm Seeking. Finally, Leticia was found and Kalvatua had died. The threat of the tsunamis was leveled, but strangely, the devotee believers of sea god would still occasionally receive responses. Occasionally. Coincidentally, Leticia is dead. For an ancient elven ruin, Katlia had heard of this archaeologist who was part of the same organization. Oh, that's right. They were both part of the Moses Sent Order. Katlia had heard of this archaeologist who was part of the same organization before, but she wasn't too familiar with her. This was because former members of the Moses Ascetic Order had to spend a certain amount of time in silent ascetic training. When fully paying attention, she was able to control her powers in a way that significantly exceeded the average person. Therefore, she only seemed slightly stirred as she listened seriously to the hangman's description without showing any obvious abnormalities. When the hangman said that Kalvatua was dead and how the sea god still responded to its believers, Katlia first frowned in puzzlement before using her spiritual intuition to recall a certain sense. Yesterday, she had seen Mr. Fool hold a milky white scepter when he pulled her above the gray fog. At the tip of the scepter were many tiny blue gems, which were swirling with countless points of holy light, and more important, it emanated an aura of godhood, one that seemed like the corporeal aura of the ocean storm. This, Katlia instinctively turned her head to the end of the long bronze table when Mr. Fool was shrouded in grayish white fog. Damn! That was a good chapter. It is so good, bro. You know, dude, I'm gonna say it right now. After I do my timestamp, hold up. I have an inkling suspicion. Easy, do you remember the Moses Sent Order believes in? No, I do not believe what they believe in. What do they believe in? They believe in that. Yeah, thank you for joining. What does that mean? Copy? Yeah, what's up? Thank you for joining, dude. Oh, I'm so stupid. You're right. That was literally that was literally confirmed again last stream. Yeah, my bad. The Moses Ascent Order believes in the Hidden Sage because the Hidden Sage is part of the Mystery Prior Pathway. I remember that. I was only joking, okay? I was only joking. Yes, my bad. Sorry, I forgot. Shit, my bad. This is what we need. This is why I need to read my notes like every other day now. All right, dude. I'm scared. I'm scared. Right now, these Terra gatherings are a little too happy, man. They are a little too happy, and I'm scared that we're going to reach a point where we have a traitor. Like, there's going to be someone that's going to betray the Terra gathering, and then the two that are on my list for back... Do you hate MSO? What's MSO? What does that mean? Are you talking about the Moses Ascetic Order? MAO? We don't hate them. No, they're actually, like, people part of the Moses Ascetic Order are actually good people. It's just a Hidden Sage Mystery Prior rep getting dragged through the mud by... Literally, he is dragging them through the mud. But don't forget, old Neil believes in the beliefs of the Mystery Prior. So we cannot diss Mystery Prior Pathway, okay? Because of that, we cannot diss the Moses Ascetic Order. All right? If old Neil was an old, righteous, beautiful man, we must hold faith. It's just a hidden sage, all right? Only he's a piece of shit. No one likes him, hate him. I'm never going to take notes on this. Actually, no, I lied. We will take notes on him for Volume 3 because we had some more info revealed on him. But I have a strange suspicion that if there were to be a traitor, there's two people on my list. One is Ulger. Like, if there were to be a traitor, I feel like it'd be him. Only because he picked the name the Hanged Man, right? Like, he could have, out of, like, the 22 tarot cards, wouldn't it be coincidental for, like, the traitor to be part of the Hanged Man tarot card? Well, we know the true creator is, you know, on an upside-down cross. Like, he's hanged on an upside-down cross. Or, like, an inverted cross, right? Like, that's the only reason I'm thinking that. And the other person that I'm thinking might be a traitor would be Katlia, because she picked the name Hermit, the biggest glazer. Now I see. Maybe the reason he's such a glazer is because he wants to throw us off. I'm thinking like 5D chess over here. Maybe that's all part of his plan, right? Would the glazer betray the... Like, maybe, like, for example, you can still be a glazer and take someone out, right? Like, for example, you can still kill someone out of love, right? For example, like, if you have read Chainsaw Man, you would know what I'm referencing, right? Like, you're hurting someone, but, like, because you love them, right? Like, we can see Augur do something that way, like, because he loves the embodiment, the ideology of the Fool, he has to take him out, right? Bro, why would... I don't know. And the other... I don't know, I'm just speculating. Just because he has a Hanged Man tarot card. And the other person I'm suspecting would be, Katlia, because she picked the Hermit, right? Like, why would she pick the Hermit? Like, maybe she's part of the Hermit Order, like the Twilight Hermit Order, maybe? I don't know. Those are the only two names I'm scared about. Just read the next chapter? No, I can't. I have to end stream. Yeah, we're doing overall thoughts. The world looking mad sus. The world is definitely looking mad sus. And dude, I still believe when Klein hits high sequence, like, the world is going to be able to be independent of him. Like, I genuinely believe that, like, the world would be able to have, like, its own consciousness and whatnot, or, like, any, like, or, like, maybe he, like, maybe someone from the mind world takes over the body of the world, and then now he's the one in control of the world, and it's no longer, he's the traitor. Dude, that'd be the craziest wild twist. Like, yeah, you thought I was a beautiful golden retriever? It's like I was a devil dog all along. Insane theory. I don't know, man. Like, those are the only two things I've been like thinking about. Like because these tarot gathering meetings, they're a little too positive. And knowing how these series and knowing how each volume has ended, there's been a lot of misery. And the only place where we haven't seen any misery yet is at a tarot gathering. So that's if Zen said, no, I didn't read if Zen said something. Maybe I did. I read in scene 3 at the end. I didn't. If I read what he said, I completely forgot. But I think we're gonna leave it there. The plan is to come back at the original time later today, and hopefully we cop a Switch 2. We'll do a quick unboxing, and then I'm gonna download some like games like on the side off stream, and then we'll keep reading. So I'm gonna set stream time for the usual time today, but I might be late. But I'll keep you guys updated on Discord or on the YouTube chat. So quick plug, if you guys would like to join our Discord, join the Discord. Thank you guys for watching. We're at wow, we passed 2,400. We're at 2,400, man. Hey, like, you see Vec? Like, quick plug. If you guys would like to be a membership for as little as $1, you can spam that beautiful emote. Or you can spam Ellie emotes, you know? Or you can spam a pregnant emote if that's what you would like to do, you know? Whatever floats your boat. And we still have room for 2 more emotes. 2 more custom emotes. I'm not sure what to put. Head chef is back at the kitchen. Hey, thank you, man. Thank you, always. Hey, yo, Dr. Z, did you see the theory on who people think you are? That was a pretty funny theory. Yeah. We play Silksong on stream. I do want to play Silksong on stream. And wait, I want to beat Hollow Knight on stream. It's just, the thing is, I don't have that much time to play games on stream because right now we're reading Lord of Mysteries. Unless Weekends is dedicated solely to gaming, but I also want to I want to finish Lord of Mysteries as quickly as I can. I have to be better at time managing. But yeah, like I do want to play it. I have to beat Hollow Knight first, man. That shit was pretty tough, at least from what I played. But we're gonna end it there. Have a beautiful day. We're gonna set stream for the usual time, and we will hopefully see you later. So if you guys have any recommendations for custom emotes, let me know. All right, guys, peace. Moi, have a beautiful day, and we'll see you guys very soon, okay? If I'm not back at the usual time, it's because I'm still fighting for my life, trying to get my hands on the Switch 2. But I'll keep you guys updated, okay? Later. Peace.